there have been women who have domestic violence restraining orders against their significant others, and there was one woman in particular about 10 years ago who, after applying for all of those permits, in between the time that she applied and the time that she would have received all of those permission slips, she was murdered by her ex, and so that cost Carol Bound her life, that process. And so that was during the Christie administration. And to their credit, I mean, they actually did put some steps. They took some measures to speed this process up a little bit.
Right.
But to some degree, that all went out the window a few years ago when New Jersey redid all its laws. So, but nonetheless, like that is certainly a concern, and that's one of the real reasons why some of these, what seems like quote unquote common sense, background check processes are not in fact common sense at all. They're just making the situation more dangerous. But
Right.
but that then takes you to step 2, and you still got a third step to go, right? So the final step, if you want to be able to protect yourself outside your home, would be then to obtain a New Jersey carry permit, which is another fee, 4 more references. So that particular, so if we play that in sequence, like a firearm purchaser ID card costs $50. A pistol purchase permit costs $25. A carry permit costs $200 every 2 years. And in addition to repeating these same processes over and over and over again for the third time, the same kind of background check process, you have to complete a training requirement that includes in-person instruction and a live fire, a course of live fire. So you have to go to a shooting range and you have to pass a qualification that would be along the lines of what a police officer might do every year as part of their continuous qualification process for their job.
Yeah.
So, and that just the training process itself could cost $200. So when you add all this up, depending on how you've done it, you're talking about spending $600-700 just in fees and other related expenses just to go from 0 to step 3.
It's a revenue producer.
What's that?
A revenue producer for the state.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The state is certainly. I mean, we've seen some of the funds from those. They have at times tried to earmark some of that money for crime victims, but we've seen them sort of take those funds and put it to all sorts of slush fund projects over the years. So yeah, this is just a revenue producer for the state. For the municipalities, it's just a repetitive process that they do over and over and over again. And I should mention, you still haven't actually done the actual federally required Brady check. That occurs at the store when you purchase that pistol. So soup to nuts, you've gone through 4 background checks to exercise one right. Now, I mean, I think even those that would, consider themselves supporters of the Second Amendment, that are supportive of our right to keep and bear arms, I think there's some degree of latitude on the question of whether or not background checks are appropriate. I think as a general matter, even law-abiding gun owners would generally agree with the principle that if you've been adjudicated as dangerous, if you've been convicted as a violent felon, I think there's a compelling argument. I think the Supreme Court, even a very pro-right Supreme Court, would agree that person probably shouldn't be able to exercise their Second Amendment rights.